fitness activities and workouts. And one of the things Colin said is, there's no typical person who's doing this. There are all kinds of people. His clients range from 18 to 78. They're professionals, labor workers, the unemployed, single moms, celebrities. They're just ordinary people. That's what I like to hear, because clothes-free living, and this is an aspect of clothes-free living, is all about ordinary people doing stuff without clothes. That's all it is. And it's not all people, he says, from naturist backgrounds. It's just regular, everyday people. And I think that's really how we go about normalizing clothes-free living, is when we have regular, everyday people doing stuff that they would normally do with clothes, without clothes. And that's really, I think, where things begin to click, where people begin to say, oh, this is not something weird at all. It's just a little different way of doing some of the things I ordinarily do. Colin says this: the single greatest benefit for working out or doing training, personal training, and having a workout session clothes-free is self-confidence. That it brings a new awareness to the body and acceptance of the body. And I think that's true for clothes-free yoga as well. I think that's really one of the key things to plug into in this clothes-free fitness movement. And so, I is this going to become something that's normal and everybody's going to be doing it? I don't know. But I don't think it's going to go away, because I think people will find ways to catch on to this benefit of working out, all these benefits of confidence in your body, less sweat, less cleanup, less laundry, all of that stuff for doing a clothes-free workout and clothes-free fitness. So again, what's your thought? Do you work out clothes-free? Do you do yoga clothes-free? Have you ever run a clothes-free 5K? Give us a shout on our Twitter page or on our Spreaker page. Let us know what you think.
ClothesFreeLife.com supports the Reddit community for clothes-free living. Notice him.reddit.com.
Want to shift gears a little bit and talk about something that's really, I think, important for getting information out and the positive side of clothes-free living out to folks. Last broadcast, I talked about the fact that it's really, really important, I think, to take a positive tack on this stuff and to try to avoid being negative with people about what it means to live the clothes-free or naturist or nudist life. And one of the ways we can do that is to create the kinds of promotional visuals that are appealing and engaging. So I want to talk in the second segment about what that looks like, what it looks like to how do you create great visual imagery, great visual tools for promoting the clothes-free life. We a couple of months ago did a little short, I think 60-second video about it. But I've been observing some stuff on the internet, on the web, and I just thought it's worth revisiting and giving you some tips and tools about how to address this stuff. And again, we're going to put some things in about this in the show notes so you'll have it available. But I just want to take a little bit of a moment and talk through some of the things that we had in the how-to video that are important to consider when you're trying to create the kinds of great looking graphics that are going to be appealing, engaging to people. The first thing we have to remember about this is we live in a visual culture. So visuals matter. It's not enough to just throw something out there and say, I'm going to throw a graphic up on the website and the message will take it where it needs to go. The message will be the key thing that people see. No, the medium is the message, and visual media is key. If we don't understand that, we don't understand what's going on out in the modern society and how we need to connect with folks outside. So that's the first thing. It's visuals matter. Visuals are an important way of communicating anything that is important to you and anything that you want to invite people to participate in. But the second issue is it's got to be done well. It's got to be done effectively. We can't just do ugly stuff and say, people will get the message. People will see what we're getting at. People will see what our heart is all about. No, people don't. They get turned off. They look at something that's ugly, that's unappealing, and they go, I don't even want to see what they're talking about. That's the world that we live in today. So how do we do this effectively? How do we convey the impactful messages that we want to convey? How do we say what we want to say about close free living and naturist life in a way that's going to be effective? Well, the first thing is we've got to have a clear message, right? We can't just have confusing, cliche kinds of messages that we throw out there. We've got to have a clear message. What's the thing, the one point that you want to make? What's the one idea that you want to get across in this image, this visual image that you're creating? A lot of times, less is more. One of the best examples of that are some images that are created by a fellow named Buck on his website promoting close free living and naturist living, and it's not a lot of photographs. It's just words, simple words on a nice background, good colors, coordination, and that's it. Not a whole lot of busyness. Just a simple thing, like one of his images that we have in that video is just, I am body positive, big uppercase characters. Then no imperfect naked body should be frowned on. As simple as that. That's done. That's a powerful message. I am body positive, and then the subtext, right? No images involved with it because you could be promoting unconsciously one type of body over another in that scenario. So think about whether or not, how much words you need to have, how much of an image you need to have. Then think about your target. What's your target going to be? Who are you trying to reach? It makes no sense if you're trying to reach folks outside of the naturist close free living community to put on your graphic anybody who doesn't understand naturism is a prude, or those textiles just don't get it. That's defeating the purpose because you've already turned off the audience you're trying to reach, right? So determine your target and then ask yourself what kind of graphic would communicate your message to your target in the most effective way. So there's a lot of different kinds of images that you can create. It's not just a simple matter of saying, I'm going to create a visual image that has a photo on it. You could do a meme. And a meme is this, it's been out there for a while, the term, but it's found its way into popular culture. And it's a very specific kind of visual image that creates it kind of evokes an iconic feeling or symbol. And memes have basically two lines in them, one at the top, one at the bottom, and there's an image in between that conveys some kind of a feeling or message that connects with the words at the top and the bottom. So that's one kind of image. The other could be an infographic. And an infographic is all about communicating information and data, right? And there's some good things we want to share about data. There was some data that came out the other day. It said like 3 million people or something like that close free. Hey, make an infographic for that. Photo quotes are another kind, where you take a photo and you overlay a quote on top of it by a famous person promoting, or maybe not famous person promoting, the close free or naturist life. And then text images, where you're just using words, as I said before, to communicate a powerful message. So a couple of other things about this here. Typography matters. The kinds of fonts and the shapes of the fonts that you use and the combination of the fonts and the colors that you use are all parts of good graphic visual design. So it's really important to think about that. Does the font that you're using communicate the feeling that you want to get across in your image? And then the other thing is, by all means, emulate, but don't imitate. There's a recent trend that I've been seeing. There's one group of folks who are on Twitter who do a fantastic job of creating visual images that are striking and engaging, with quotes promoting close free living and naturist living. The Be Free folks, you can find them on Twitter. And they have a particular design that they use. And all the time, it's, that design with variations. And I noticed another group has basically pulled the same design and is throwing it on their images, which I have to say are nowhere near as good. Nowhere near as good, right? So instead of looking at what these folks were doing well and emulating that and coming up with something new and creative for themselves, they're just basically imitating it and doing a poor imitation at that. So emulate, but don't imitate. One of our editors, Anthony Hart, is on chat. You can jump in on chat too if you're on the website. And she reminded me that we shouldn't steal images too. Don't take other people's images and use it. I know sometimes it's easier to do that, but if you can avoid it, I really think use images of yourself. Right? Use images of yourself doing close free life. That rings more authentically than grabbing something from another website or someone else's images and using them without permission on your, to make your particular visual image. So again, question out there for you all in the Twitterverse. What tools do you use to make great graphics? I'm going to close out this segment by giving you a couple of tools that you can use. The first one I want to talk about is a tool called GIMP, and it stands for something that I can't remember what it stands for. Something manipulation program. GIMP is a free Photoshop alternative. Adobe Photoshop makes the industry standard graphic software. This is an alternative. It's free and it's available on every platform that's out there. You can get it for Mac, you can get it for Linux, you can get it for Windows. You can get it on any PC or computer platform out there, and it's really, really very powerful, very good. So just Google GIMP and make sure you go to the official GIMP site, and you can download that for free, install it on your computer. Another one that is very useful and very popular in the online community is PixArt. PixArt is available for iOS. It's available for Mac and Windows 10, and Android. I don't know if they have a Linux version, but that covers most of the bases. And again, you can just Google or search PixArt. That's PICSART.